Quarterbacks rising, shining bright. From coast to coast they take flight. Coach Schuman's eyes, sharp and keen, analyzing every single scene. Steve Cully's voice, calm and clear, talking about their future gear. Strengths and weaknesses they dissect. Future leaders, they're starting to mix. Top prospects on the rise. Quarterbacks with vision. With Coach Schuman and Steve Cully, they shine. They'll conquer every play. Scouting reports filled with hope. Each one a star, ready to cope. The field is theirs, destiny calls. These young talents, they'll never fall. Through the storm, through the rain, they stand tall, they won't wane.
All right.
Yes, it is time to unveil the new quarterback show featuring Coach Schuman and myself, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully, who coached at Colgate University, Dartmouth College, and the College of the Holy Cross, all Division I schools, all top-notch quarterbacks that I've worked with. Coach Schuman has worked with Heisman Trophy winners. If you want to be evaluated, if you want to be featured, if you want to make a name for yourself and be recruited, this is the show that you want to be on. And you can contact either of us on Twitter, and we will work to try and make a spot for you, and you will get an evaluation, true, and that evaluation will be sent to any colleges that you would like to be seen by. And we actually have had some college coaches watch the shows already, other show that I do. So it's very popular and an easy way for you to make a name for yourself. The recruiting game has changed.
Yes, and exposure is important, and this is kind of elevating it to the next level.
Hugely.
We're going to start with, featuring three guys. We have three guys queued up today who are fantastic quarterbacks. Two are 2026 class, and then the other is in the 2028 class. So if two are juniors and are going to be juniors. And we're going to be juniors are actually
no, they're going to be seniors.
No, one's 2026, one's 2027, and one is 2028.
Okay.
So we got a rising senior,
yes,
a rising junior, and a rising sophomore.
Correct.
So it's going to be really, really good. We have Zach Myelli, who's the 2027, Maddox Franklin, who is the 2026. And then we have Eric Beach, who is the 2028. Both of these guys are already getting recruited, and they're starting to really kind of grow their network. Both are pretty well-known quarterbacks, accomplished within their class, and we're going to kind of feature them and break them down today. And what's interesting about them is these guys are already on the tour, starting to go to different places. So we want to be able to go. So which order would you like to? Would you want to go?
Well, Dave, that's what I was going to ask you, because every time I see quarterbacks, is it always broken down now between a dual threat and a drop back? Because whenever I see quarterback recruiting lists, it's kind of separated that way. They'll list them as a dual threat or okay. So I didn't know that's how they've been doing it. What would you say has been more prominent as far as recruiting goes? Do they want the dual threat? They do want the dual threat kids. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when possible, they want the dual threat. But
Right.
if you're more of a pro style quarterback,
Pocket passer, right.
you got to be a great passer. I mean, that's the key, you know.
That
So
that that that's where you have to stand out.
right, and you could look at where we went to school. UConn is a good example of that, right? They had a dual threat, and they had a kind of more of a pro style. And the pro style is actually the guy that's now was the start, ended up being the starter in the season,
Yep.
later in the season, not right away, but later in the season, and then is the starter coming back. So it does depend. It depends on the offensive preference. It depends on what they're trying to get. So I think that's a real important thing on it. Obviously, height is I would say the less mobile you are, the size becomes a bigger and bigger factor. So if you're more of a pro style, size is definitely important. Um, when you're a dual threat, I do think that the dual threats can get away with being a little bit shorter depending on their level of mobility. It's kind of like a sliding scale, from that standpoint. If you look at the pros and you'd say, all right, who is obviously a dual threat that you would look at in the pros, you would say Josh Allen, you would say Lamar Jackson, two totally
Mahomes.
different.
Yeah.
Mahomes I would say Mahomes is more of a pro style that is mobile,
Right.
and then um,
Well,
Josh Allen can run a throw.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, right, is dual, but Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts are different style runners than Lamar Jackson, right? And different
Correct.
style. So that's the part that's varying. That's what makes the evaluation a little more difficult for college coaches now, because it really is like, what are we looking for? What are we trying to do? I think for the most part, guys are trying to get the best guys they can get, period, end of story. And then I think the offenses are adaptable where they
Yes.
could have the QBs run more or less, depending on what they're trying to do, and utilizing RPOs and utilizing the running backs, depending on how much you want to have the quarterback run or not. You could kind of gear up or gear down your offense towards that. So I think that's the really good thing about it.
What are the intangibles you would say that college coaches are looking for in their high school quarterbacks? Because
Yeah,
I know they've been going for more transfers, but if you're coming out of high school,
right.
what are the intangibles they want to see?
Intangible wise, I think you've got to be able to diagnose things quickly,
Yep.
and you have to be able to make really great decisions
Decision
fast,
making. Yep.
right? And then you have to be able to be in control of the offense and be able to understand how to get all the players on the same page throughout the game. But making quick decisions and being able to make sure you know where everybody is, being able to do that on the fly, and to be able to obviously diagnose what the defense is going to do to you.
Coverages. Yep.
Yep, and being able to forecast that, pre-snap reads, and then obviously being able to adapt based off of what happens. So moving parts. So it's pre-snap, it's post-snap, and then obviously from a passing standpoint, coverages. There are certain basic things that they need to be able to know.
Two high, one high, middle open, middle close,
Yep.
that sort of thing.
Exactly. Alignment, alignment of corners, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So are they looking at you or inside, or are they looking at the man they're covering? So you get man,
If it's man or zone, and which way the safety rolls down, strong or weak.
Right. Rolling. Right. Exactly. That gives you a close or open look. And then your box, right? So, how many guys are in the box, and then obviously there's simple ways to help quarterbacks, early on in the game. You obviously use motion to get an idea how they play man, how are they playing zone, right? Like what are they rolling, and so you could do that early on to get that usually, obviously, depending on the level of the quarterback, up top or the head coach in high schools helping them with that. And then the better they get with that, the better off they'll be. And then obviously being able to diagnose HOTS and being able to know, where people are coming from. And some of that is pre-snap stuff. And, but yeah, there's no doubt about it, right? Like you diagnose man, you're in a passing situation, you would probably guess as a quarterback that they're bringing people, right? So you have to know where the quick opportunities are and those kind of things. And if they're in zone, they're probably, if they're running a fire zone, maybe they're bringing one or two max, but
dropping off.
Yeah, and how much of a threat is that to you, right? So I think those are big. But being able to figure those things out quickly, and then really being able to make a quick decision, and
knowing where to go with the ball.
Yeah, and knowing who your playmakers are, right? Like, that's a big deal. Quarterbacks look a lot better when they get it to their playmakers, right? So
Brock Purdy does 100%.
Yep. So I think those are real important things, and we'll kind of break those down here in a couple seconds, and you'll see. Look, when you're looking at highlight films, it's going to be hard. We're not able to see exactly, what their pre is. We're seeing highlights, but we can diagnose how quick they're getting rid of the ball. Do they put, where the placement of the ball is, and are there certain things that look good? Obviously, as a quarterback, being able to get out in front of coaches for them to see you throw is a big deal, other than when obviously they're looking at film. So, but it's important. Like when you see a ball just jump out of a QB's hand, that tells
pop.
you a lot. Yep, pop. And then how they throw the ball, the trajectory of it, and the velocity, and accuracy of it. I think that's a big deal. Like, do they throw guys open, or are they just basically throwing when they show open? That's a big deal, right?
Yeah, you got to anticipate the break, and you got to get it there on time for when they get open. Yes.
I think that's So let's go. So we'll go if you want. We'll go young to old. So
Sounds
we'll go
good.
2028. We'll start off with okay, and this guy, because he just started playing varsity. He played a little bit of varsity this year. I do have as much stuff as you can get on him without having like a full highlight. But he goes to a lot of camps. He plays on an elite 7-on-7 club, and he plays in a lot of tournaments. So I'm gonna try to how do I keep the sound off of the StreamYard here for the
you can mute it on when you share your screen.
Okay, so we could see it. So this was actually, I think, him in 8th grade. This or maybe this might have even been this one was 7th grade. That's him as a 7th grader working out. Just pretty amazing. We'll count. Here we go. We'll go right to. Let's see if I can. All right.
Yeah,
now, are you able to?
I have a full screen.
You do?
You're not. Yeah, you can't make it bigger and control it.
I can't make it bigger.
No.
So we could really see it. I'm trying to see how I can. All right, so let's start here. Okay, this was at an all-star game as just a 7th grader. Bunch of
wow.
clips. Yeah, I mean, this is when he was 7th grade.
Yeah, you should be able to make it big screen.
Like that.
That should.
It doesn't.
Oh, it's not making a big screen. Okay.
Okay, this is high school. So here we go. All right, let's. Yeah, I can't make it because this is not. Oh, I could do this. Okay, yeah, I could make it bigger.
It should allow you on the other when you're sharing your screen. The other screen should allow you to make it big.
There we go. Like this?
Yes. Yep. That's it.
There we go. Okay, good. All right. So this is him playing varsity as a freshman. Some of the clips he was able to get to us here. Let's see. Okay. Gets the ball out of his hands real quick.
Really quick. Yeah.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. Great.
That was a 3-step catch and throw. Because that's how they teach the quick game now. I mean, it's just catch, turn, and throw, right?
He gets the ball out of his hands lightning quick. Now he's a pro style. He can run, but he's more of a pro style. I mean,
beautiful job on the fade. Yep.
This is a freshman. You know.
Yeah, he looks like he is taller than 5'11".
I would say he's like 5. Yeah, he's definitely like 5'11". He's on that border, maybe 6 feet now.
That was a tight throw right there.
Tight throw right there. Yep.
Slant.
All right, I have that. Let me see if there's any other clips. Okay. Let me go back here. All right, good.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
We got some.
Perfect.
Okay, so this may be last year in this might be eighth grade. This one he's in 8th grade.
Does he have a little bit of a sidearm delivery?
This is him in 7th grade.
Okay.
Grade.
No, he doesn't.
No, it's like I would say it's like a 3/4.
Yeah.
You know, it's
yeah, good job on the corner.
This is him in 7th grade. From the camps he went to.
He throws well on the run.
Or maybe it was 8th grade. Yeah, maybe it was 8th grade.
I like the way he gets his hips turned.
Yep. Let's see if we can go and find a little bit more on him on Twitter here. I'm sure he's got some stuff on there.
But yeah, he definitely has.
He's got zip on the ball.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a pro style, I mean, to me, like he has the capabilities to play at a really high level. It just for throwing now, it really it depends on what you're looking for because of because he's more of a pro style, right? So, all right, let's see if we can. And this guy does everything that you're supposed to do. All right, let's see. This was this just looks like it's some of the clips that we have. Let me see if I can pull up some. All right, here we go. Some 7-on-7 clips. Let's see if we can get this.
And it's important now, as you said, to be part of one of the 7-on-7 travel programs.
Yeah,
because that's where they get looked at.
It gets you reps too. I mean, that's a big thing, right?
Right.
The reps
against good competition.
Okay, can you see this? And then I'll just full screen this.
Yep.
All right, we'll full screen it.
That one. Yeah.
There we go. All right. There's a couple of this is this year.
Oh wow, they're an empty. Okay. Oof.
He moves like he keeps his poise and position in the pocket. Even I mean, a lot of these 7-on-7 guys move up to him. See how he stays under control. That's a great throw right there.
Yeah, I like his base.
Gets rid of the ball. That was one where they're rushing. Some of the 7-on-7 turns do different things.
Oh, it was smart decision there.
That was a great throw. I would never
fits it in a tight window. Yep.
Yeah, he puts them in tight windows.
Wow.
See,
I mean,
one thing he's got to work on, I think, here, if you see it right here, and this is 7-7. So if you watch, you don't want to get your feet too close together. See how he gets his feet a little close together? This is something he has to work on.
I noticed he does that sometimes when he's looking.
Got to keep that apart.
He keeps a narrow base. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You got to keep it apart as you're climbing, because it slows down your release process. Right now, he has a really quick release. Like, he snaps the ball really well. Comes out of his hands, fast. His 3/4 kind of motion. He I mean, look, he's throwing like 3/4 there. I mean, he really has the ability to get rid of the ball very, very quickly, and makes decisions, I think, very well for a young guy. You know what I mean? So I think
for a kid his age, absolutely.
So going forward, obviously with the prospects,
will he be on varsity or JV this year?
He played a little bit varsity last year as a freshman.
Oh, did? Wow.
He'll be the guy this year. He's at so he goes to Camden Catholic High School in New Jersey, which parochial school. They play good competition. It's right outside Philadelphia. It's a hotbed for recruiting. So, it's an area where there's a lot of prospects, a lot of recruits, both on the Philly side and on the Jersey side there. So. But he goes to Camden Catholic, so he's a very good student. I think he's a week of
architecture. It showed his. He already took the SAT.
Yep. So very, very good student. From that standpoint. So we'll he's a player that really has great upside. A lot of coaches are beginning to be aware of him. So it's a matter of him just continuing to go to camps. When he becomes a starter, I think really will make a huge opportunity for him.
Yeah, he'll make a name for himself. It's tough too, because colleges will take one quarterback or two quarterbacks in a class. So you really have to stand out to be taken. And that's important. So being featured and being talked about and evaluated, that is a great way to get noticed.
Yep, and he's won MVPs at a lot of camps, and I think those are things that are important to continue to do. But yeah, I think he's a fantastic prospect at the quarterback position. This year will be a big year, if starting as a sophomore, which kind of leads into our next prospect, which is 2027, who already is really getting looked at by a lot of Division I schools. He's already been in North Carolina down there on unofficial. He's
wow.
FAU as an unofficial. Yeah, I don't think he's offered yet by those schools. As a high-end academic athlete, plays for one of the best programs in the state of New Jersey, public school, maybe the best. So, and he won the state group championship this year as a sophomore. They won. So in New Jersey, and I'll bring his clips up here. Zach Myelli, who goes to Old Tappan High School in New Jersey. Okay, can you see?
I can.
Okay, perfect. All right. So Zach is 6'1" already as a sophomore, 170. Plays for. I've coached with his coach. I still do some analysis for them, but I coached with his head coach. I was an assistant on their staff years ago. But Zach Myelli plays for Brian Dunn at Old Tappan, literally top 10 program in New Jersey every single year, maybe the top public school. Year in and year out, they're probably top 2 or 3 public schools every single year. They won the state group championship in New Jersey. How it works is you go You go in your sectional. So I think they're in North. I want to say they're either North 3 or North 4. I mean North 1, Group 3 or 4. I can't remember which one. They play through that section, and then you play the North versus the South, and the Central versus North 2, right? And they go to an overall state championship. So it's a lot of games, but you go to overall state championship. He, as a sophomore, was the quarterback, the starting quarterback all year long on the state championship team. So
wow.
yes, I threw for over 2,000 yards as a sophomore.
As a sophomore, wow.
Yes, yeah. He's a heck of a player. And
Now, is he on
He's a dual threat.
The 7-on-7, the Boardwalk Beast?
He is not. No, he's
Okay.
up in North Jersey, so he's probably an hour hour and a half. He's at least an hour and a half north of me. He's at the very, very tippy top, right before you get to New York. So the high school he goes to is Old Tappan High School, and it's right. Just think about the Tappan Zee Bridge across from Old Tappan is I feel like is Tappan, which is on the New York side. So it's like right there, and obviously that leads to where the used to be the Tappan Zee Bridge. Now it's what, the Governor Cuomo Bridge or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
So that might be the Governor Mario Cuomo Bridge, I think. So here, this is Zach Myelli, 2027, Old Tappan High School in New Jersey. He's the real deal.
Wow, I like his arm.
His arm, yep, and he can move. Dot. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, that's a tight throw right there. Real good pocket presence.
Yep.
Man, beautiful deep ball.
Yep.
Throws it right in stride.
Great movement right there in the pocket.
Well, it's just great awareness to see the rush.
New Jersey, which is a ton of powerhouse programs up there. So,
and I like that he carries the ball up high.
This is the state championship game at Rutgers.
Okay. Oh, fade stop. I like that. God, his poor tackles are getting destroyed.
But see that throw? That throw.
That was a dart. Yeah.
This throw right here is crazy.
That was an absolute dart.
Going to his left.
Yep. Rolling to your left, throwing a dart like that. It's impressive. His footwork is excellent too.
Yep. He keeps his feet. Let's see. Maybe we can freeze him.
He keeps a wider base.
Yep. Yeah.
He gets his hips into his throws.
And look, when he feels the need to escape, he's got that nice wiggle, and then he gets his feet. I mean, that's a great throw again. Jeez. Rolling, directing traffic.
Yep, directing his receiver to go.
This is a sophomore, so he's going to be a junior.
Yeah, he plays with a ton of poise.
That's a great throw.
Yeah, a lot of poise in the pocket. He doesn't get rattled.
Saddle State championship game. Another big throw.
Corner out.
Look at that.
He's got two guys blitzing. He evades both of them.
He's very poised. He's very under control.
Yeah, that's
a great throw.
Exactly what I said.
Guys turn,
His poise shines through. He doesn't get rattled. He's got great pocket presence, but he doesn't look at the rush. He keeps his eyes downfield, and he makes the necessary throws, which I like.
These vertical throws are just on time.
Oh, yeah, they're right on the money. Great job reading the coverage.
QB draw. Look at him run, too.
Yeah, he has very, very good athleticism. Yeah, I mean, he is an offer candidate for sure. What
Right
did you
now,
say? 6'1"?
6'1", yeah, 170.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a little slim still, obviously.
Yep, he'll
But
grow
he's
into
young.
it.
He's only a sophomore, so I mean, he's probably gonna be 200 by the time he's a senior.
Yeah. I think he
Gonna
can.
run. He's smooth. He's a
He'll.
smart runner too. Like he doesn't like press when he gets in the open. He's trying to figure out the best, you know,
God, that was great right there on
type.
like an RPO quick release. Smart there.
They do a lot of RPOs at Old Japan. That's a big
Yep.
part of their
Yep.
offense.
Very good in the quick game, but he also throws a beautiful deep ball.
Great throw, hot right to his head. I love that when a quarterback does that. When they
Yeah.
recognize that the space is just throw to his head. It's one of the things I always tell quarterbacks. It's like if you got a guy that's a big physical receiver, and you get in trouble in the DB's back's turn, you throw it to his head. See how he does that over and
Yeah,
over
let
again?
him go get it. Yeah.
Throw it to his head. He makes the play.
And the thing that also stands out, he does not make his receivers work for the ball. He
Yes.
puts it right on the money. I mean, right there, he just hit him right in the numbers, and that was a tight window.
I like how he really see that right to the head. He gets the right ball to the right personnel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It's
a receiver, he gives it, lets them use their body, lets them use their size. Smaller receiver, he gives them an opportunity to run and catch.
right.
I mean,
His decision making is on point.
his natural instincts. He's a tough runner too.
Oh yeah.
This is against one of the better programs too. I mean, most of the films, his schedule's pretty tough, public school wise. Really, really good team. So,
No, I'm sure it is.
Dot. I mean, QB run. Yeah, to me, now look, in the old days, I think you'd already have an offer. So
Yes, it's because of the transfer portal and everything that they're not out. Wow, yeah. I think he's got such a quick release. I love his decision making. I love his pocket presence, his athleticism, and he does not make his receivers work for the ball. That's hugely important.
Everything looks
very crisp.
Crisp. That's the great word. Crisp.
Yeah.
Crisp. His timing is very good too.
Yes. He throws on time. He's got poise in the pocket. Very good pocket presence. He knows when to run. I love that he looks to throw first when he runs.
Right.
He'll escape, he'll evade, and then he'll look to get the ball downfield instead of taking off. He'll look for the big play. And then if it's not there, he's not afraid to put his head down and run. And he's athletic enough to do it.
There's no doubt about it. All right, now let me see. I just want to see here on Twitter if.
And he's a guy. I mean, UConn should absolutely be looking at.
100%. I mean, he's already visited some really, really big schools, and then so it's something that I think he gets to camps, he starts working, he'll do really well.
His performance will speak for itself.
Yeah, I think he'll do really well, and then obviously he's coming back for junior. So that's our 2027. Okay, he's definitely one of the top quarterbacks in his class in New Jersey. Probably fighting to be one of maybe the top. And he's a guy that can get away with being 6'1".
Easily.
Probably.
I mean, I don't think he'll have a problem being 6'1".
Absolutely.
But
Right.
I could easily see him putting on another inch and a half. I mean, I could see him playing at 215, 210.
Yep.
He's got the frame
2,
for it.
6.5. You know, he reminds me like a little bit. He reminds me of a faster Shane Stafford. That's what he reminds
Yeah,
me of. You know,
more
faster.
athletic.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Shane was a tremendous basketball player, very athletic, but this kid probably has more sprinter speed. You know what I mean? Sprinter speed.
Right, downhill, right.
Um, but yeah, I think he's really a guy who's gonna. I think he's gonna get quite a few offers all shakes out. Our next guy and our last guy today, as we go up, is 2026. Is Maddox Franklin from Lincoln County High School in Tennessee, Fayetteville, Tennessee, I believe it is.
Oh,
He's
wow.
he's 6'2", 190. Okay, 9.5-inch hand size already, 4.12 GPA. By the way, all these guys are fantastic students.
Yeah.
This guy is a 4.12, Maddox Franklin, 2026. And we'll show it from his Twitter here.
Have you is he someone that you have been in contact with, or his family?
Yes. So I work
Okay, good.
with these three guys already.
Beautiful.
Yep. So that's why I figured it'd be guys to talk about that we already know are pretty darn good.
Yes.
All right. So this is Maddox.
And Tennessee's obviously good football.
Yep. Oh yeah. There's no doubt. And let me I mean, he's already, I believe a couple of Division twos have already offered him. You know, you look here, Tennessee Varsity, which is I think one of the recruiting sites, they have him listed as
Wow, 5A.
one of the top returning players in all of Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know, he deadlifts 435. Here he's deadlifted 4. I hate the form there, but deadlifts at 435. This is a kid that's constantly working, and he's been visiting a lot of schools. I think he went to Pitt in right after the season to visit. He's been to quite a few different places. So he's also he's in an area that I don't think a lot of people go to. But this is great stuff because you could see, you know, of course, in Tennessee, you get some clips that you can really see overhead stuff view too, like the drones. All right, here we go.
Wow, that's a great throw. Going to his left.
Great throw. I'm just gonna expand it a little more here.
Jeez.
Corner route in the corner in the end zone.
Oh my God. Wow.
Climbs the pocket. He's a dual threat too. He can run. And that was a great throw. Stepping
That
up.
was a great throw.
Another
Takes the hit, puts
throw.
it on the money.
Yeah, let's look at that because that is I mean, that's I just want to see his see how he keeps see his feet there?
Yeah. Yep. He's got his hips turned.
He's turning his hips, the back foot's turning.
The pressure's coming and he takes it. And he gets it off, puts it right on. I think the only thing I'd say, he carries the ball a little
You got to
low.
be careful not to overstride because he's got a nice base to begin with. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he still gets that foot down with the front foot down, so he could. You know, I always say it's not like the shot put because the shot put now they spin, but in the old glide day, like old gliding, get that foot down, and they when they block, the quickness of that allows, you know, the difference in your trajectory, your speed. And that's a little bit what QB throwing is like.
My only question is, does he carry the ball a little low?
Yeah, let's look at it.
Because I'm asking.
As long as it's in, let me get a better angle of. Great back shoulder. I see, because you think he's grabbing it. He has it towards the stomach. I think he should.
Do you want it higher or no?
Well, it should be in like the chest area here. You know, I don't think you want it down at the stomach.
Right.
That's great.
Jeez. Wow.
I think he could. I think he doesn't have to follow through more. I think snap a little bit more. But
Yep,
that's a great
I
throw.
see. I see that. I see that
Snap on the throw.
with
That's a
his
great snap there. Okay.
yes,
I think you should throw again. So my only critique on this, he's got a great arm. When he's throwing a ball like this, I think he's got to stay a little bit more forward with his body.
right.
And let me just see here on the break. That should be. I think as he moves up, this has to be gone now.
Now,
Because
anticipate it, right?
Touchdown.
Right,
So
exactly.
right.
He's got the perfect route called. The post right there.
No, he's got such a good arm. He's able to get there. That was much better. So that's a
Yes.
good drive on it. So this is it right here. Let's go back. All right. Break.
Yes, he gets behind him,
Now.
throws
That's
it
a
under
good
the
job.
safety. That's
That's a
really
good one.
good. Yes.
Great timing there.
Beautiful.
Yep. Evades the pocket. Good job evading. Gets the ball out.
Sprint out. Nice job. There's like a one-man route. That's a good throw. That's a long throw.
Right.
You can make that field throw. That's good. That nice seam ball.
Let's see here. Okay.
Looks like they're running almost a four vert concept.
So wide base is good.
Yeah,
I think he's got to get a little.
That's way too wide.
Too wide. So that's one of the things that he's got to continue.
But he still makes the throw.
It makes it more arm, you know what I mean? Because if his block was right underneath him here with his front foot, now he would come forward a little more
with his hips.
Right. It's
because that seam, when you throw the slot seam, you want that on a line. You want that thrown on a rope.
Right.
He put a little air under it.
Carry is.
So that's the only thing I noticed was he carries it a little low, but
great use of his hips there.
Very good decision maker. Now, the question I had was, is he taking too deep of a drop?
Right, because that makes the throw a lot.
Because it's five. I know it's different in the shotgun, but
yeah. See, I'm not. I'm trying to figure out if this is something he's coached on or not.
Because I thought the shotgun, it's 1-2. You know, you don't need to drop back as far.
Exactly. Like, well, you saw how Eric was staying. Like, just staying. The first kid was staying, and the
three-step is catch and throw, right?
Three-step is catch and throw. So I think, I don't know the. See this. Let me see the route here. So this is okay. Well, he's escaping, but it must be a 5-step. Yeah.
See how much depth he gets?
Yep. Because that to me should be
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It should be 1, 2, 3 and gone,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. It looks like he's drifting.
There we go. That's
perfect.
There.
That's right where you need to be. That's where you need to be. The quick game is good. Quick game
I don't
is
think
good.
He needs to drop. Like, see, they must be coaching this like back.
No, this I would not think you would need to drop.
No, you just turn throw.
Yes, he should just turn and get his shoulders and hips in position and throw. He doesn't need to shuffle. Like that's fine.
That's better.
That's good.
I'm trying to figure out, like,
sprint out's good.
That was good sprint out. That was turn and throw. Nobody blocked on that point.
But yeah, he just
drops
and drops. Yeah.
It should be 1, 2, 3.
Because now you're
a long throw.
Well, and you're putting your tackles at a disadvantage because you
see the drop in there.
Yeah.
I wonder, is that good athlete?
Very good athlete. because if you take the 2 steps and you're in place, you give your tackles room to run the guy by. If you keep dropping back and a tackle is trying to run the guy by, he's going to run the guy into you.
Yep. So I think those are corrections. I think from a correction standpoint,
they're easy to make.
Yeah, the base that could be rep, and then the drop. Again, I don't know, what they're being coached on or not. Like,
just carrying the ball up a little higher.
Well, right
and
here,
getting his hips turned,
just so it gets out. But I think
and the base.
Yep, no doubt about it. So those are 3 excellent quarterbacks. I think Maddox may fall into like that FCS realm. And then now he makes those corrections. I think the ball will come out crisp enough.
He's got
the arm to do it.
He's got a cannon for an arm.
Yeah.
He's just got to fix his mechanics.
Yep.
If he gets his mechanics fixed.
The arm mechanics are excellent. The hips mechanics are excellent.
It's just the footwork,
the front foot, and the base,
and the drop,
and then the drop. And which the only thing we don't know is, like, sometimes, I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes
the coaches coach that.
Coach them that, like, get more time.
But you're already in the shotgun, like you don't.
I don't know.
I always coached that when you're quarterback. Like, I always coached my linemen to know where the launch point was. Where's his launch point going to be? Because that would determine how I would have my lineman set. Because if he's going to be dropping back, then we know, we're not going to be able to run the guy by on a speed rush. We got to take a stand.
Right.
Because he's going to run right into him. So the launch point's very, very important to know. So if they're coaching that, I don't believe if it's a 5-step play, you're already in the gun. You don't need a 3-step drop.
I agree. The way that I used to always teach it is, if it's a normal 3-step under center,
it's catch and throw.
Catch and throw. You catch, turn, throw.
Yep.
If it's what would be a 5-step, it's 3 steps from gun. 7-step, like old school, like play action 7-step. Like, not a lot of people run that anymore.
No.
That I think you just take 3 steps and then you move. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then that way you have the ability to throw, because the snap of the gun from the gun takes away the actual drop from under center, right? So you don't need that. And I think you're right. Like, now I have seen some offenses where they do that. Like, I don't think it helps you for college. You know what I mean? Obviously, whatever they do offensively in high school.
Well, they're trying to buy time. If
they're doing something right to be able to buy more time. Maybe they don't. Maybe the line is, not all big, superstars. Maybe, especially.
So even on a 5-step drop out of the gun, you'll have them take 3.
Yeah.
Steps. Okay.
I would take 3 out of. Yeah, I would take 3. It's
two and a hitch, right?
Well, I don't think you need to hitch out a gun if you're taking 3 steps,
okay.
Right? You just 3 and you're gathered and you're ready to
1,
go.
2, 3, and then you go. Okay.
Yeah, you're
already in position.
Yeah, you're already in position.
The other question I had for you, for your quarterbacks in high school, do you prefer for them to set the protection? Do you, as the coach, set the protection? Or do you have the center call the protection on the line based on blitzes or tendencies?
The center, I would have a lot of times do the adjustments.
Okay. You don't put it on the quarterback.
Try not to in high school. Too much.
College we do, but
absolutely do. The quarterback can change the protection if they're that level.
Right.
Now I don't know, like, for example, these 3 quarterbacks, I have no idea, like, if they give them any leeway on any of those kind of things. My guess now with a lot of the spread offenses, they set the certain protection, and then everything's off of, like, HOTS or an RPO.
Right. You always have a built-in hot,
and the line does a lot more of the adjustments. The center.
That's how. Yeah. That's what Depending on the quarterback, some quarterbacks, I wanted them to control the protection so they knew where they were protected,
Right.
and they knew where their hots were.
Right.
Other times, I wanted to take it off their plate and put it on the center. The center would call the protection. The quarterback hears it, knows where he's protected, and then knows where he's going to be hot. It would just be depending on, their comfort level. But preference wise, I'd like the quarterback to call it, because then they can call where they want to be protected and where they want to throw hot off of.
Yep. There's no doubt about it. And it's but
the RPO game has changed everything. So
it absolutely has. So it's the kind of thing where the RPOs, the reads, the zone read is, look, a lot of teams run power read or zone read in high
power
school.
Read, counter read. They run the power ride, where they run the power to the side. They run counter with the read. Everything's a read. And I always got to a point where I thought it was putting too much on the quarterback. And I was like, can we just have him hand it off? Can we give him a couple plays where he just hands it off so he doesn't have to read? Like, you can't put, you're killing this kid. He's got to read every single play. I'm like, let's give him a break.
Right.
I thought it was a little too much, but I know that's just the way offenses operate nowadays. And that's why you're in the top spot. That's why you're the quarterback.
Well, so I think there's look, the pros and cons to each side of it is you might get a much more open play if you're reading.
Well, yes, it's one less guy you have to block. Correct.
Right. When you have a pro style, you're right. They could focus on the decisions and the protection.
Yep.
And that's how they make up for it. Like, there's multiple ways to skin the cat in it now, but I do think there's pros and cons. It really depends on what your quarterback, if your quarterback is excellent at identifying pressure and coverage, is really, at the college level, especially, if they're excellent at identifying that, you could probably run pro style because, and almost like you see with Mahomes, look, it's pro style, it's quick game, but he doesn't have to, and he can kind of escape because he's able to identify where the pressure is coming from, which allows him to escape away from the pressure better.
Well, I had a quarterback like that at Holy Cross, Peter Pujols, and there were times where he would set the protection opposite the blitz. And I would go, Peter, why are you sliding the protection away from the blitz? He's like, because I want to throw hot over here. I like the hot throw here. I was like, all right, okay, that's what you want. He knew the blitz was coming from a certain way. He didn't want to be protected. He wanted to throw hot. So he would call the protection the opposite way. And I never had seen that done before, but he liked doing that because he knew he was hot. He knew the guy was going to be open. And he was fine taking a shot.
There's no doubt about it. And I think that's so that gives you more. Look, the smarter the quarterback is, the more the things he's comfortable identifying. You got to know his comfort level. And great coaches, I think, are able to vary what they do based off of what their quarterback's comfortable with relative to what his ability is. Meaning, if you got a guy that's let's use Lamar Jackson as an example. Someone could run like Lamar Jackson, right? You can be patient in him learning the other processes along the way, feeding him this, then feeding him that, which is what has allowed Lamar Jackson to become a better quarterback in the pros, right? Because they've staged that development. He was such a good runner. Really, really obviously elite. You're talking like a 10-5 100-meter dash guy, right? So elite as a runner that you could kind of spoon fed each stage, right? And now he's able to do a lot more, right?
Well,
Then you get
100%. Yeah.
then you get guys like Peyton Manning who come right in, probably identifying coverages out of high school.
Yeah.
And now you're just trying to enhance that ability, but he doesn't run, right? So you're using boot with him. That's what you're gonna have to
You
do.
got to use other things to control the backside flow, so the backside doesn't flow and make
And
the
the
play
pressure's
in the
on
run
him
game.
to not make mistakes in identification, right? So
Yes.
the pressure's on him, right? Tom Brady, somewhat similar, different skill sets, but similar
Right.
in that sense. Like he has the ability to understand everything. And then I would say you take like a Josh Allen, and a Josh Allen is I would say maybe originally a little bit farther ahead because of his size and arm
Yeah, he's a
than,
big guy.
than Lamar Jackson as far as the identification of things. A little bit farther ahead because he was like in an offense where he was kind of standing in the pocket a little more in Wyoming.
Right.
And they threw the ball over the yard. But it's kind of like with him, they progressed his running game based off of how much he showed he could do, like RPOs and those kind of things. So the fact that he's so big and he runs downhill,
And he does not slide.
no, he doesn't slide. So he runs downhill. So his running game is different than Lamar. So you kind of backed into a run game with him at the NFL level, right? Where
Yeah.
in college, you probably could have just get away with him scrambling and being bigger than guys, faster than guys, right? So I think that there's a lot of different ways you can do it. The key is, what is the quarterback and the coach, head coach, and the offensive coordinator comfortable with, and then what guys are they able to recruit and get there, right? So obviously Ryan Day at Ohio State's looking for certain guys, and he's able to get those guys there, right?
100%.
Us at UConn, we're
trying to mix and match.
Find the best, figure out who's the best guy, move your offense to that, right? So whatever it is, whether it's dual threat or pro style, whoever the best guy is gives you the chance to win the most games. You kind of you massage your offense to that, right? And
so that was my problem with UConn was when Joe Figiano was the quarterback, they didn't really change the offense to
they
suit
will this
him.
year, though, if he's the guy. I think they will.
I hope they do in the running game, because whenever they ran outside zone with Joe, the backside pursuit was so heavy.
Yeah.
Because they had nothing to control the backside. So I hope they put something backside, whether it's a wide receiver screen, whether it's a bubble, whether it's an orbit option, something to hold the backside end.
They were doing some of the end zone type stuff, like the normal zone stuff, a little bit of it where guy goes in motion, back goes in motion away, and they run zone. Yeah. So that or you
hold
run
the backside
screen with a wide zone, like coupled off of it. They do have the backs to do that. I think I think the guy who's really great at like the RPOs and massaging his offense to what his quarterback can do better than anybody is probably Lane Kiffin. Like he's
he's grown into that. Yeah,
he's grown into that
couple of years. Yeah,
he's really like, the guy's more of a runner, he does a little more of this. If the guy's more of a passer, he does a little bit more of this. If the guy's really smart, he allows him to do that. I mean, he's really grown. Like with Jackson
Dart, he plays to his strength. Yes,
he grew Jackson Dart's abilities over the 3 years. Like really grew it.
He made him into a first rounder.
He made him into a first rounder, where he was a guy that was running a little more in the beginning, and then who had a really good arm. He
had a great camp with the Giants over the weekend. So,
yep.
He may see action earlier than later with how he performed.
Yep, and so that, like, he's an example of a guy who likes adjusting. The Mike Leach is no longer around, but Mike Leach was very systematized, right? Where
Yeah, you either fit his system or you don't.
you fit his system.
He wasn't
right?
changing it.
No, he wasn't changing that system. Now that system happens to be a good amount what's run in the passing game at the NFL, not the run game, but the passing game at the NFL. So if you're good in that system from a passing standpoint, you're probably going to be able to passing, which is why you see like Gardner Minshew, who's a disciple of Leach, right? Still being able to hang around and be successful because of the fact that the reads from the quick reads in the passing game,
they're ingrained in him.
They're ingrained in him, right? And they're ingrained in him from that air raid system, that Mike Leach ran. And so it's interesting. And
was Mike Leach a pure was he like a true like run and shoot guy?
Air raid.
What's the difference?
Air raid is the original. It's now all I don't know. Everything's like kind of
everything's spread now. I know, but
everything's merged. But the old school run and shoot like Andre Ware, Houston,
yes,
Mouse Davis,
yes,
right, Jack Pardee,
yes,
all that kind of stuff.
Were they under center more or?
Yes, they were under center.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Now I'm curious what Timmy Chang is running in Hawaii because Timmy Chang was
in the gun. It looked like
I feel like Timmy Chang might have been the gun by the time he got there. Timmy Chang's at Hawaii now, right?
Yes, he was a Hawaii guy,
and he's the coach there at Hawaii now, right? Or no?
I think you're right. He is. I think he was with the run and shoot guy. I can't think of the coach's name.
Jones.
June Jones, yes. June Jones, yes.
Who was SMU and right. So Timmy Chang is the head coach of Hawaii. So I'm wondering if Timmy Chang is more. I'd have to pull up because I can't remember if Timmy Chang. Let me see if I can find some old school Timmy Chang.
Oh, he was outstanding.
Oh, he is in the gun. Yeah, so Timmy Chang was in the gun.
They were in the gun.
So that was probably a
and then the guy that followed him was good. If you remember the guy that followed him,
yes, I think passed away. Maybe right.
He did. He took him to the
BCS all-time passer. Yeah. See Timmy. Yes, interesting. See how Timmy Chang, by the way, this is a good example of a guy in the gun, right? What? And Timmy Chang was undersized, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was smaller. He was shorter.
So this is a cardinal thing of the run and shoot. See this like half roll left, and it would half roll right. That was a big thing in the run and shoot.
To move the pocket.
To move the pocket, different than air raid.
Call it like dash left, dash right.
Yep. So see how Timmy's underneath himself so well? Even though the back foot's a little overstrided, but even though the back foot's a little slightly overstrided, see how his front foot is down?
Yeah, I think because he didn't have the strongest arm, he needed to use his body.
Yeah, he used the body nice on that. I just want to see one more. See the half roll again? That's a cardinal. Like that's how you know it's run and shoot. Now they used to do it from the under center. They would 5-step half roll, right?
Just to move the
hips and see how that foot's underneath.
That's textbook.
I mean, that's phenomenal, Timmy. So
Chang. That's for changing the launch point by moving the pocket, correct?
Yes, correct, and allowed them to take a quarterback. Did not have to have as strong an arm.
Right, because you would roll him to the side that you wanted to pass to.
And they used to use the run and shoot, used to use that QB draw from there. So they would half roll.
Yeah, and then he took the sprint draw. Yes.
Sprint draw. Yeah. So they would do that. They would roll a lot. And then, but the air raid is much more in the pocket.
Okay.
All about mesh. Everything starts from mesh. Multiverse.
The mesh concept was the base for the air raid.
Oh yeah, it's the base.
Everything was off of that.
Verticals, yeah, 4 verts,
yeah.
and mesh.
And mesh underneath.
Yeah. Now, run and shoot used a lot of like flood concepts. They used mesh. They used a lot of sit down concepts, like
Sits. Yep.
like I don't know if
spacing
I would
routes.
say choice, spacing and choices.
Yeah.
You know, where you would have like if you ran like your verts, like one guy would chase basically the safety, and based
Yes.
off of where the safety played it, they would either sit down or continue on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
right.
that's big run and shoot.
Right.
Whereas I think Leach was much more for verticals, right?
Right.
Well, it didn't matter what they were playing, we're reading this, right?
Right.
And then we would do this, or this based
And
off of
he would do crossers or unders underneath
all day long, multiple versions of that, right? 3x1, 2x2,
Yep.
but all, outside guy running the shallow, inside guy running, all that kind of stuff. And then you would run the verts to be able to four verts, multiple versions of four verts.
Yes.
You would throw the back shoulder inside seam right
Yep.
now as soon as he clears the linebacker, or if you had like a one high, you would use like trips to move guys off base on four verts, whether you go the big guy or the inside guy, or you go 2x2 and you would go four verts.
We never ran four verts out of trips very well because the number 3 had to get over to the other hash. Right?
I never loved that play.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of four verts with the guy chasing the inside of the safety. Like if there's two high safeties chasing towards the inside, so he's almost like bending it.
Well, that's what it is. There's always
if you
a
went
bender.
Over across, there were people that would run that other guy to the opposite hash.
Oh, I would not do that. No,
people used to do that.
A original bend. Yeah,
I think the original. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the original.
Not out of 2x2.
No, 3x1. 3x1.
3x1. Yes, we would bend them all the way to the opposite hash.
Yes. That was always. Yes. I never
I
loved
hated
that.
it.
Yeah.
2x2, it was just a slight bend.
At a 3x1, we would go like this. We would take this guy, the inside guy, and I can't do it from here, but you would have the 3 guys. I can't.
Yeah.
And the guy, I would go 1, 2, 3, and instead of having him go all the way across the opposite hash, I would have him run slightly inside and see where the safety would go, because it would almost make it like a post for him.
Okay, so you would keep it skinny.
Keep it skinny, and then if it was one high, I would just have him run right at and occupy. So I would have throw right away now to the middle guy.
Yeah.
Like as soon as the ball was,
there's nobody there. Yeah.
Nobody's there because the other guy's going to the flat, right? And the other guy's on the outside. And hold them. If they were too high, which most people would have a version of cover 4, I guess, with it. Or a quarter half with it, right? So then you would have that safety already there.
And that's where the bender
inside, right? And if he moved with you, keep taking him.
Yes.
Up and across. If he didn't move with you, basically you become the post. If you move towards the middle guy, started to get over to the middle guy, I would just throw it right over the top now. So
you have it immediately, yes.
There was one danger with that. If the backside safety
was robbing it or
middle,
he
could pick it, right? So it was really like in college he probably would. So you would have to do something with that backside. What I would do is you use the back in a route there, so you wouldn't even like that.
You check release the back.
The goal would really be for him to be the control route guy, and
you check release the back, have him run an arrow route, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, that was really good. We covered 3 guys. For those of you, and I'll let Steve finish it with, but if you're interested, DM us. Okay, this is only going to be quarterbacks this show, so we're going to feature quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
We'll do it up to 2 times a week. There's only so many slots. DM us. We'll let you know what you have to do to be able to get in on it.
Available. Yep.
and we'll continue to feature players. So
yes, we'll feature you. We'll do what we can to get your video out to the film to any college coaches with our evaluations. You'll get a lot for what we're offering. It's just not showing your film on here. We're going to do what we can to help you out and make sure you get evaluated and looked at by the schools that you have interest in. And we'll let you know what level you're best fit for. And that's huge, so you're not wasting your time at other levels of colleges where you may not get the same look or the same opportunity to play. Identifying that is the first step to recruiting. You know where you fit best, you know where you can play, and then you can focus on what schools that you have interest in.
And it's changed because guys who may have been at FBS before because of transfer portal may fall to FBS. So we could see you as having FBS ability.
Right. It's just there's not that many opportunities.
Yeah, there's not as many opportunities. So
you have to understand that.
Especially as a quarterback, right? How many guys go on the field as a quarterback? So you got to
you're taking one or two a class.
I think there's a lot of guys that are old FCS guys that are falling Division III or Division II.
They have been. They have to, some of them have to start there. Some of them
and you move up
PG and go to prep school. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't count towards your eligibility.
Yeah, UConn's starting quarterback was at Maine.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
And so he moved up, and there are guys that move down. Different levels. Guys move up and down and all around.
Well, yeah, it's a crapshoot. So, but you're going to get evaluated by people with really high level coaching IQs, been at the college level, who know the position and can accurately tell you where you fit best. And then that will help you on your journey.
No doubt.
And then, like Coach Schuman said, the 7-on-7 clubs are paramount to you getting film, to you getting looks, and showing that you can make all the throws, showing that you have the footwork, showing the mechanics, showing the pocket presence. All that is what coaches are looking for. So
with that,
I think a banner first episode.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
So again, Coach Schuman with his Boardwalk Beast 7-on-7 club. They're very active. The college camps are coming up next month. Start working and get ready for that. And anyone interested in being featured on our show, make sure to go on Twitter and you can DM us. I'm on Facebook. You can message me on Facebook.
Instagram.
And, Instagram. And, we are having spots fill up fast, but we will do our best to get you on next week's show, if not the week after, but you will get featured and we will help you throughout the process. So for Coach Schuman's quarterback prospects show, I guess, and Steve Cully, I'm the best podcast host in the universe and quarterback evaluator. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them back at life.